learn to improve conversions and generate more leads with the video podcast at marketingoptimization.tv. Hi, and welcome to Marketing Optimization with Alex Designs. I'm your host, Alex Harris, and today we're chatting with Brian Massey. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Brian, to get started, I want to ask, what is your definition of optimization and why is it beneficial?
Our definition of optimization. Our definition of optimization is understanding your visitors. I mean, that's what it all boils down to. You're doing tests to increase revenue or to increase leads, but ultimately you're only doing that because you're getting to know what your visitors like and prefer better and better. With every test you learn something. People are fond of saying that even losing tests or inconclusive tests teach you something about your visitors. Of course, here we much prefer the winners because they deliver the insights with some nice revenue on the side.
Now, you run a company, Conversion Sciences, and you work with a lot of clients, and you also post a lot of great content. Tell us a little bit about your company. How did you guys get started, and what you do in the conversion space?
Boy, we've been doing this for a long time. So I founded the company in 2007, I'm a computer programmer. That out of college, I went into sales, technical sales. I sold semiconductors. I was a corporate marketer for periods of time. And so I can really relate to some of the marketers in your audience who are struggling with the people making decisions or guiding decisions or setting budgets and trying to get some of this conversion stuff on the plate. And then this is the second business that I've started. So I don't know what you do when you take a programmer with sales and corporate marketing experience who has a preference for starting his own business. I don't know what else you do other than become a conversion scientist. One of our mottos is that we want to use rigorous creativity. So that implies that we're still marketing to humans, and we're having to be creative in that effort, but we need to add some discipline and rigor to that, and that's really where the science comes in. So it was a very natural fit.
Now, conversion science has its own framework. Tell us a little bit about your strategy, about how you do your conversion optimization.
Sure. So yes, conversion science is based on the scientific method. And for those of you that aren't familiar with scientific method, the broader steps of that very quickly. The first thing you're doing is you're evaluating what data you have, what information you have, and you're coming up with ideas, guesstimates. Honestly, in a corporate marketing environment like your audience might be working in, a lot of those come from executives who have an idea, from people on the team who think, what if we tried? But that's okay. Those are less evaluated, but that's okay. You can put that into the idea pile, and we call those hypotheses. The next thing you want to do is you want to say, all right, what are we trying to accomplish with this hypothesis? This becomes your test output. And then you say, what could we do to test this hypothesis? And there's a little twist in here because you want to test only that hypothesis. So if you have 5 ideas, you can't really put 5 changes on the page, test it, and understand what really made the difference. So evaluate, develop hypotheses, design a test, execute the test, and then you evaluate what came out on the other end. The tools that are on the market, and we use third-party tools, the Optimize Leads, Convert.com, visual website optimizers of the world, Test and Target for enterprise, they will do the math for you and do the homework for you of making sure your tests are getting to what we call statistical significance. And at that point, you have a basis in science for whatever happened in the test. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about some of that software that you use. If people are using the software already to test, or they've been doing it for a while, what would be some overall tips you would use to get the best out of it?
Honestly, to get the best out of it, I would not use the WYSIWYG portion of it. So the best way to get good results out of your testing tools is to have a good JavaScript and HTML and CSS guy. What you want to do is let them do the coding that moves things around, that changes text, that removes things from the page, adds things from the page, swaps out pictures, whatever you're trying to do in your test. If you can have somebody who can program that for you, you're going to have much better results because the WYSIWYG can break on different platforms, different browsers. And we have a test lab here that's got a little bit of just about everything. We can test almost any platform that our clients see a strong revenue traffic stream from. So that would be my first one. My second one would be to take the time to do the QA. Go ahead and even if you're running around to people saying, can you do this on your iPhone? Does anybody have an old iPad? If you can collect these devices, because what happens is we launch the test and we get our results and don't realize there was a large segment that was seeing a broken page or something, and that just destroys. It means you're making decisions poorly. So.
Yeah, well, ensuring that your test is running properly and that the users are seeing it how you want to is absolutely essential. Figuring out that QA. What would you say would be some actionable tips to really improve your conversion rates from that? Once you have you kind of have an idea of how to create a hypothesis. Maybe it's the headline or the call to action. Maybe is not working right. What would you tell a company in order to set up those tests or get the most out of their conversion rates?
Well, so, when we set up a test, the first thing we want to do is make sure everything's being measured correctly in analytics, which is your behavioral database. It's generally pretty easy to set up your tools to track to a goal. But the places that we tend to see the biggest wins early on is in language. So making headlines a little bit more emotional. Getting rid of what Brian Eisenberg calls we copy, where you talk about we and our customers and we're the leader and our company. Go in and count the number of times you say we, us, our clients, or your company name in your copy, and you start to get an idea that you're talking about you. One of the mantras of the conversion scientist is your visitors do not care about your company or your products, and it's true. And you're like, they're coming to my website. Why don't they care? It's because they care about their problems. You have to address that before you have permission to talk about yourself. So language, headlines, copy, use of bullets, well-crafted bullets and things like that, that's where we find our wins.
Yeah. Yeah, figuring out what's in it for them and kind of defining that and building the page based on some emotion to figure out what problem they're really going to solve. Because more than likely they're coming off of pay-per-click and